You're very welcome to this video. In this video we're going to be looking at the area of controlling in Unit 3 on the Leaving Certificate Business course. So control is our third of 3 management activities. If you can remember what the other 2 were. They were, of course, planning and organising. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to define what management control is and look at the types of management control. Then the first one we're going to look at is stock control, and we're going to define what it is, what just-in-time stock control means, and the benefits of stock control. So, what do we mean by the idea of control as a management activity? Okay, well, management control is the continuous monitoring and checking of results to see if they're in line with the goals and targets set out in the plans. Okay, so the key words you have to have there is continuous monitoring and checking of results. That's the first important point. And the second key thing about that is the goals and targets set out in the plans. So basically, controlling is basically making sure the business is on target for where it wants to be at. Okay, there are 4 types of management control that we look at in the course: stock control, quality control, credit control, and financial control. And we're going to be looking at these over the next few videos. So the first thing is stock control. Well, if you think about stock, as in the stock a business would have, as in the goods a business has that it's going to be selling to its consumers or customers. This is the monitoring of stock levels to ensure that there is enough stock to meet demand while keeping costs at a minimum. Firms aim to ensure that the stocks are at optimum levels. In other words, every business should carry the minimum amount of stock. If you have too much stock, so let's say you order in too much, that means that you're spending money that you could be spending on other things. You want to just have in stock exactly what you need for your consumers and not much extra. If you have more extra stock, that means you have a lot more costs. You have to pay to store the stock, and you're also having to pay money on stuff that you don't pay money for stuff that you don't need right now. So, there's a method called just-in-time. Just-in-time is a type of stock control system which operates just-in-time is a type of stock control system in which stocks of raw materials, components, or other finished goods are delivered just when they are needed, no sooner or no later. So, Lexus, the car manufacturer, uses this model when they're producing their cars. Can you think of another example of a business that might use just-in-time? Supermarkets such as Lidl or Aldi would be very, very efficient at using similar to a just-in-time method, where they where they have their trucks delivering to the stores each night, so they have exactly the stock they need for that day. So they don't have to have massive stock rooms in their supermarkets. The benefits of stock control. Well, the firm doesn't lose sales because it means they have the right stock that the customer wants at the time. It also helps future sales and profits. Helps future sales because if the consumers know they're going to get the good they need there, they're going to be a repeat customer. And it helps profits because they're not ending up spending money on extra storage or stock that they don't need. The firm will not be underutilising storage space, so the storage space that they do have, they'll only get the amount of storage space they need. They won't have mass warehouses full of stock that they're not able to sell. Also, as well, money will not be tied up in having too much stock, so that money can be used to invest in other areas of the business. There's also no shortage of raw materials of production. So from the other side of things, if a business isn't producing goods as opposed to selling goods, it means they have the raw materials they need for actually making the good. And the firm will identify which goods are selling, which goods are subject to deterioration, obsolescence and shrinkage theft. So to break that down, basically, when you buy goods and you have them in storage, things can happen to them. So deterioration means that the longer you have it in storage, the less likely it is to be able to work as well as it was supposed to. Obsolescence will basically means that the item becomes out of date. So let's say, for example, you're a mobile phone shop and you decide to buy a load of iPhone 11s. Well, if you don't sell them in time, the iPhone 12 will come out, and therefore they're now obsolete as they're not the latest item. And shrinkage is theft. So you can have an issue where staff might rob some of the stock, and therefore it's not being sold. There's also less insurance costs. If you have less storage space and only have the required goods you actually need, that means that you don't have to pay as much insurance because there's less items for you to actually get insured. So folks, that brings us to the end of today's lesson, where you should now know what management control is, the types of management control, what stock control is, just-in-time stock control, and the benefits of stock control. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and why not subscribe to the channel as well. Thanks very much for watching. Bye now.